So the final aspect of this chapter that I really want to focus on is Marina's potential of not only having more Hatsu than Contagion, but potentially having some type of manipulation ability that also follows through with Contagion. Meanwhile, while the Phantom Troupe are focusing on planning their quote-unquote assassination of Marina and the rest of the Heily family, the Heily family are doing preparations of their own. We know that a lot of chapters ago, after losing a couple people and losing their liaison to Prince Saradnik, the fourth prince who's supposed to be their benefactor and the one that's financing the Heily family, they're not stupid, and they're more than aware that that person was most likely taken out by either Saradnik himself or someone on Saradnik's guard because he knew that they were betraying them. The Heily family has gone off the rails entirely, and as Nobunaga correctly suspects, they are really not even the Heily family anymore. They are only the Heily family in name. Their modus operandi, reason for existing, and goal for the future has changed entirely, from upholding Kaken Empire prosperity to outright bringing destruction and chaos, not just to the Black Whale and the Succession War, but to the entire world and spreading contagion everywhere. We know that the previous plans that were put into motion by Marina and Dogman are finally underway now that Dogman has been able to grind his contagion level all the way up to 62, which is insane considering he was only at a mere level 31 or something like that the last time we saw him. What they're doing in regards to Saradnik potentially finding out about their descent into chaos, even though, again, it could just be because Saradnik is so focused on his Nen training, he just doesn't give a shit about his Mafia connection anymore. But it's also possible that what we know with the Shiyu and Kara family getting an okay to take down Marina because she's just not acting in Saradnik's best interest anymore. Marina needs to turn this situation around because she needs to find a way that she can keep Saradnik not only under her thumb, but make sure she can keep track of his movements, because Nobunaga and the rest of the Phantom Troupe already finding one of their hideouts and potentially getting on their tail, and that war slowly brewing in the background. The last thing Marina and the Heily family need is for Saradnik and his own personal guard. They just do not want to fight two wars at the same time. So what they originally planned for after Dogman reaches level 50, they want to basically kidnap one of Saradnik's personal guards and convert them over to their side. That way, instead of having this little liaison messenger person that talks between them and just goes back and forth like a little male person, they can actually have someone in Saradnik's quarters that is on their side and not only willing to reveal information, but also probably fight and set up a perfect flanking position that way they could take Saradnik out if they have to. The Heily family has multiple different crazy Nen abilities, and it seems like now with Dogman at level 62, they're going to be able to take their scouting a step further and be able to find not only the specific Nen category that a person has, they're going to be able to find if that person has specifically awakened to Nen or not. Thankfully, because Saddam's ability, he's a level 31, he has a manipulation type ability that allows him to kidnap people and capture them as long as they have not learned Nen yet. If we're able to combine this kidnapping ability with Dogman's newly fully improved ability, which again, Dogman could have a lot more Hatsu, by the way. As being a level 62, we really don't know what happens past level 50 besides strength. So Dogman could also have more than one Hatsu, but it seems like Dogman's main ability is to be able to sniff people from afar. He can sniff out a Nen user's type from 5 meters away, whether they're a manipulator, a conjurer, a specialist. If he gets within 2 meters, he can tell if they've learned Nen or not, or how proficient they are in learning Nen. And then if he's able to actually smell a person's head, he can 100% identify that person with complete accuracy. Why is this beneficial to Marina? Because again, if we are scouting people and looking for people to fit into our plan, because again, we know we need an emitter so we can continue up the processing room and continue grinding up levels. We need someone that can teleport innocent civilians to the processing room. But we also might need other Nen types to commit to other Nen abilities that we need for the future. Marina isn't dumb and is definitely thinking about not just the present, but the future specifically. if they can actually kidnap one of Sorodnik's soldiers and bring them onto their side, then that immediately clears up one side of their war and they only have to deal with the Phantom Troupe. Now, of course, the Heily family soldiers are like, well, how the heck are we gonna get one of Sorodnik's guys on our side? And Marina says, you know what? We're just gonna have to give them an offer that they can't refuse. We're gonna have to make them come to our side. Which got me thinking, especially with what the Kara and Shiyu families say about how Marina Prudo took control of the Heily family in the first place. If Marina is able to keep all of Sorodnik's movements on her radar just by infecting one of his personal guards with Contagion, does this mean that Marina is able to track all of the infected users of Contagion that she infects? If that's the case, then every single member of the Heily family using Contagion, Marina is able to keep tabs on with no problem whatsoever, and may even be able to sense what they sense, or at the very least relay information back and forth between these points. One of the big things that Nobunaga questions is how the Heily family is able to plot and make plans with each other while being so disconnected from each other. As a patient zero, because right now she's the only person that has reached this point, we still don't know what else she's capable of. I'm pretty sure it's cut and dry that Marina is going to have more than Contagion as a Hatsu. She may have definitely something that allows her to fight in battle, as I think she's going to be a villain that presents much more of a problem than we've been led to believe. But I also wonder, does Contagion take away the free will of people once they've been infected? If you think about it, last chapter, Kurapika was worried that Zhang Lei's Nen Beast was creating coins that, over time, by giving them Nen powers, they would slowly and subtly manipulate the person by slowly changing the way their thought processes work to slowly believe and trust and be loyal to Zhang Lei. And I thought that was a direct reference to how Marina's ability works in the underground of things. And if this is the case, are all of these Heily members descending into chaos with Marina because they really truly believe she is their queen, she is the leader that will take them into the promised land? Or after giving Contagion, is she completely manipulating these people's minds? Granted, we do watch a scene of Marina gifting Contagion to willing participants in the Heily family, but I wonder if the Heily family has become more cult-like in that it starts with direct manipulation of Marina's manipulation, making people her slaves through her saliva and playing 4D chess, and then slowly that real manipulation becomes pseudo and subtle manipulation across people that are actually turned over to her side, literally, as opposed to being taken control of. It also makes sense why Dogman would specifically be searching for either a Sorodnik soldier or whoever their target might be that hasn't awoken to Nen yet, because if they've already awoken to Nen, they can't be taken over by Contagion. If Contagion opens Marina up to tracking them, who's to say that the reason why that person may not be sympathetic to their cause in the first place, but after becoming a Contagion user, they are sympathetic and follow Marina, is because of the manipulation aspect. I mean, of course, they could just force their target to cooperate by blackmailing them or threatening them. The main reason that I want to tie this all together into one neat bow is something that Kenny Wang mentions in the short meeting he has with Nobunaga and the rest of the Phantom Troupe, and that he mentions that they don't know much about Marina Prudo because she took over the Heily relatively recently, and while she definitely is an illegitimate member of the Kaken family, they don't know much else other than that. She's kind of always been in the shadows, and they did think it's weird how the Heily family just immediately converted into loving her and appreciating her as a leader, especially when you consider that the Heily family's original leader had no reason to step down, from the way that Kenny Wang seems to describe it. And it makes me think that if Contagion does have some kind of manipulation aspect, you could say that the reason why Marina was able to take over the Heily family, have such stark contrast of goals to them, and take their family into an entirely different direction the moment she takes control. What if this Contagion ability was used on the original Heily boss, and that Heily boss was manipulated by Contagion, passed on power to Marina, and then died afterwards? If Marina really has been making people her slaves this whole time and has been creating a cult of people that follow her because they are convinced by the people around them or because they're literally manipulated through Contagion, Marina could play a much bigger role as a villain than I think we have any idea how it could possibly go. What would Beyond Netero do if he found out about Marina's plan is what I want to know. Who knows, honestly? It's really hard to say what would happen in regards to Beyond and everyone else. Specifically because we still don't even know if Beyond cares about what happens to the Black Whale at all. Because if, let's say, Pariston and Jing are on a separate voyage, right? Who's to say that Beyond can't break out, skip off the Black Whale once it sinks, and then hitch a ride with Pariston and Jing on their other voyage from the New Continent to the Dark Continent? If Beyond is aware that they're going to drop the Kaken Empire off on the New Continent, he already plans to either separate from either the Black Whale or the Kaken Empire entirely. But as all of that is going on with Marina and Dogman, and they go off to go on their mission, the other three members, who I know one is named Damon. I'm not sure what the other names are or who they are, but they have all reached level 51 or higher in the processing room, as they've just been slaughtering more innocents while the Phantom Troupe has just been trying to get back and figure out what's going on. It really shows how fast the Heily is able to work and how efficient their teleporting scheme is for the plan that they set out. Marina has clearly thought this Contagion ability out super well, whether she came up with this Hatsu herself or was gifted Contagion by someone else. They all have hopes of getting revenge on Shiyu's Heinrich, who was the one that took out a bunch of the Heily members before with his pigeon handcuff ability. He got, jumped by a lot of the Heily members out in the open. The one guy who didn't even have like a Nen ability, he just had like a hand that came off to be a hook. He was also with Nobunaga when they entered the Heily headquarters and they were escorted out by Yokotani's LSDF. Not only is Dogman on his own mission, these Heily family members are going to be directly ready for the all-out war between not just the Mafia hunt, as they call it, but the Phantom Troupe battle that is about to come. And it makes me wonder as well what that third trump card, that Joker card that Kenny Wang mentions Marina might be. Is it another Hatsu that Marina has not revealed yet? Is it another person that she has on her side that we have no idea about? So over the course of the week, I've seen a lot of really cool ideas as to what Marina's Joker could be. And I think something that, of course, is just a theory, but I wanted to bring up because it was interesting, is the identity of Marina's Joker being Kaiser. Because the Justice Department has been looking the other way for the Heily Mafia and all of the different things they've been doing to undermine the Kaken Empire and its underworld, I think it's pretty likely that Kaiser, of all people, might be Marina's Joker. Because if you remember, Melody does assume that Kaiser is being pseudo-manipulated by someone, to the point that Kaiser might not even realize he's under someone's influence. He is so strong in his heart and his thoughts that he's doing and says that he loves Melody, but Melody still doesn't feel anything from his heart. And that would go right into the pseudo manipulation theory of Contagion. But let me know your thoughts. I'm not going to yap about this too long. Thanks for watching. Not only is Dogman potentially looking for the bodyguard that's on Saradnik's team that will be able to let them keep an eye on Saradnik, now that Dogman can search out whatever kind of Nen type or Nen user they need for their cause, who's to say that their team, already as strong as it is, doesn't just become 10 times more powerful? I mean, granted, you've already got all of these Heily family members that are almost level 100s on their own. If we get someone else like Marina that can just start spreading Contagion even further, this really can become an actual pandemic of evil.